Hello everyone, RJ here, and welcome to my video. Today, I'm challenging myself to a redesign challenge. So earlier this month, I was watching one of Zeltic's videos, and in his video, he brought up a piece of concept art from Breath of the Wild. It was of modern-day Link, and I'll save my thoughts on those for a later video, but it got me thinking, how would I design my own modern Link? Which led me to even more thinking. What would the other Links look like in modern-day settings? What would they look like in other genres? And I just couldn't let the idea go, and I decided to go with it. And I decided it would be fun to take some of the pre-existing Links and redesign them as if they were in one of the cyberpunk derivatives. Steampunk, biopunk, clockpunk, so on and so forth. So I took the Links I knew the most, I was most familiar with, whether via playing the games myself or during research on them, and redesigned them. First up, I did Majora's Mask Link, because he's my favorite. I don't know why, but I really like that particular Link, even though I've never gotten to finish the game. Neither Majora's Mask or Zelda Ocarina of Time. There's a long story behind that one. But, he's my personal favorite, so I decided to do him first. Get the hard one out of the way. And as I was going through the different, punk genres, I kept a few things in mind for him. His ability to transform in the general dark and creepy atmosphere of the game. And I decided that I decided that the punk genre that seemed to best fit with those two ideas was biopunk. I sat there, I thought about it, and it's scary how well biopunk fits in with the game mechanics and the general atmosphere of Majora's Mask. It's still a terrifying thought. But it was too perfect to pass up. So I decided on biopunk for Majora's Mask Link. And I set about doing my research, and I am going to say right here, right now, I am very disappointed in the lack of concept art I could find for biopunk. And just in general, there's a lot of animes that were, I guess you could call biopunk, but they all have a very 80s feel, and I felt that was too close to a modern day Link idea. And I didn't want to do a modern day Link yet. I'm saving that for far in the future, or maybe later in the future. Soon, far, I haven't decided yet. But I wanted to save it. So I did some research, and on screen you can see my program betraying me horribly. But I decided to go with a biosuit. I decided to do 3 different types of biosuits. All inspired by Fierce Deity, because heck yeah, Fierce Deity is awesome. Why wouldn't I want to incorporate his design into this redesign? The idea behind it is the transformations are a bit more physical this time around. They're not just magic transforming him. They're literally his bodies mushing and changing forcibly, not by magic, but by science. So I figured that there would be some temporary or permanent, depending on which you would prefer, lingering side effects. In the case of the Fierce Deity, it would be his markings. And some of his hair color you'll see in a bit. But back to the suit, I thought a biosuit would be the best fit, because it's really the only thing I could find in concept art was suits like that. Skin tight, armored, some not. You can actually see a piece of concept art underneath Link's eye here that I use as a reference. But that was really all I could find. Everything else was more cyberpunky or 80s, and that just wasn't what I was going for. And so, I'm rambling now, but basically, yeah, biosuit. 3 different versions of a biosuit, and the first one, I had elements of Link's tunic. I'm about to color it, so you see it more thoroughly in a moment. But I decided to keep in his green tunic in the first one, as kind of, this was my testing things out, figuring things out. I didn't want to. I wanted to have some element of his original design in there, at least clothing-wise. I did keep his actual character design the same, because I mean, it's the idea is to redesign him, not completely change him. And with a redesign, the only thing you really need to, I think, redesign are the clothes and maybe a bit of hairstyle. Maybe I wouldn't go too far with a pre-existing character like Majora's Mask Link, but I redid his clothes, a bit of the tunic, and since Link has earrings as an adult, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I looked at artwork of him as an adult, but since he has earrings, I decided to give him earrings, slightly different type of earrings. He kept his belt, kept the green tunic, like I said before. I gave him Fierce Society sword because why not? It's a smaller version though. And I think for this particular style suit, that's really the only thing that stands out. Besides the bruise. This kid probably did not get out of that game unscathed. No Link gets out of his game unscathed. But I, for some reason, just really wanted to practice with bruising, and so gave poor Link a bruise. Also, finding a good reference photo for the Fierce ID sword wasn't that easy. Kind of like the Master Sword, it's had slight redesigns in each of its incarnations, and so I kind of just blended them together to make it a bit easier for myself, choosing the easiest part of each design. And I was having trouble with the shading, that's why there's a sad face there. And it left it pretty simple, but and so I think that's the only thing I'm a bit disappointed in, is I couldn't do the Fierce Society sword justice. I can't even remember its name right now. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, I am so tired, my brain literally died in the middle of a sentence and I had to stop recording and restart again. But another sad face, because how do I shade this? I know the principles behind shading, I know how it works, and I know all the tricks and all the basics to it, but for some reason, and this is probably learning disabilities that I have a hard time applying them. I'll sit down to draw them, and it's like hitting a brick wall. It took me forever to figure out how to shade hair and faces, even though I knew that you put the sun here and you draw the shade accordingly. It just, every time I tried to visualize it, the disabilities would kick in, my dyslexia would kick in, and I would sit there going, I gotta put the shadow here, but I want to put it here, so that's not going to be correct because the light's coming from here. So I've mostly come to terms with that by outlining my shading, and just taking a really long time to stare at the image to make sure I got it right. But the sword is a shape that I've never really worked with before, at least not in terms of weapons. And I wasn't entirely sure how to get the shading right. In fact, I'm still not entirely sure I got the shading right. But I'm happy with how it turned out nonetheless. And I'm also very happy with how the rest of the shading came out. I got a bit overwhelmed when I was setting it all up, as you could tell by that smiley face, and oh my gosh, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. Moving on from shading to the Deku mask right here, I gotta say, I'm half happy with how this turned out. It turned out half not happy. You can't really see it anymore, but the shading came out really well. I was able to use the watercolor brush to give it some texture, so it looks like wood grains, kind of like you see in the concept art. But for the side of it that's in the light, I had tried fiddling with it a bit earlier, and I just couldn't get them to come out right, so I decided to stick to a more cartoon look for the other half. Which is a bit sad, because I really wish I could have gotten that texture right. It's something I'll need to work on a bit more. And I think that's just about it for this particular biosuit. Shading, shine. I will admit, doing shine in a weapon is pretty fun. I still struggle with shine in the hair. I haven't yet figured out a good technique for myself or a good design I particularly like. There's only one image up to date that I have absolutely loved the shine in, and that particular style of shine I use in that particular image doesn't exactly match with a lot of my other work. And, I keep forgetting about that little face. I wasn't sure, that little face is there if you saw it, because I want to draw him in a slightly walking pose, and I'm not sure if I got that right. But, moving on. Up next is the next suit. This one, it's a bit less of a biosuit. The biosuit is there. It's just he was wearing a pair of pants over the leggings. So still has the belt because, come on, he needs a belt to put all his stuff in. What is with my editing? I keep missing things in my videos. I'll have to be quicker on the uptake on that. But he has his pants on, and of course they're colored the same color as the Society's leggings. And face palming because I colored in the shoes wrong at first. But yeah, a lot of the color picks from this one are coming from the Fierce Society. And I do apologize for my rambling. I have notes, but this is completely unscripted. And I'm also very ADHD, so my brain is like 5 sentences ahead of my mouth. And so I'll stumble over my words and sentences, and I'll draw a blank on what I was going to say because my brain's already done with it before my mouth is. But, yeah. So, this one in particular has a lot of design elements from the Fierce Society. Not just in the colors, but definitely in terms of design. You see, I can't remember what it's called. I think that's part of the chest plate there over his stomach, unless there's a more specific term for it. I took the designs from that and added it onto the biosuit. I also decided Link needs some kind of cap. Maybe not necessarily cap, since I gave him a hood here, but it's a hood in the basic shape of his cap, and I thought that would be fun. Give him a nice fun hoodie and a scarf, because why not? Hyrule Warriors Link got a scarf. Why shouldn't Majora's Mask Link get a scarf? In fact, he probably picked it up from the guy himself. He probably looked at his alternate self and went, "That looks cool, I want one." Because, come on, Majora's Mask Link might be a bit more mature than he looks, but if you see how he is in the Hyrule Warriors, he's still very much an innocent kid sometimes. He has not quite lost that wondrous, happy, innocent, childlike wonder and kindness of his. I like to think he never lost it, in that he's able to live a happy, long, fulfilled life, even if he does die with regrets. But that's just my personal take on him, and that's kind of a bit off topic, maybe not completely off topic, because this is the Link I'm drawing, but I completely skipped over out that entire biosuit. Anyway, quick summary. Cropped hooded jacket, biosuit, and pants, and of course belt. The hood has a patch because he's been through some stuff. Bruise isn't going away anytime soon. I'm really proud of that bruise. Fingerless gloves. And heavily inspiration from Fierce Society. That was the second outfit. Third outfit is, I think, I don't know if I said any were my favorite, but I definitely think this one is my favorite. I think I figured out what I really wanted to do by this point. And so he has a 2-part biosuit. The top part is one part, the pants are another part. And I just really like how this one came out. Once again, I took all the colors from Fierce Society's outfit. The shading, the skin and the hair and the shine, I've been copying and pasting for each outfit. I think when I do the next design challenge, because I am designing other links, and we have to find a more efficient way for me to do my coloring and just my liner in general, because if you look over to the side in the corner, there are a lot of layers, and my poor computer can't handle that anymore. But I think I'm out of time now. I think I'm out of time now. So let me know what you thought of this video, and thank you for listening to my absolute random rambling. And I hope you have a fun, wonderful day. RJ out.